Welcome everyone, this is Madman bringing another RSL video. So today, day 13, we're going to wrap up the Pythion fusion. Start off, you can see here, I got 110 of the potential 115 fragments. I am saving him for CVC since, I have a Duchess on this account, so I'm not in desperate need for Pythion right now, and I've lived this far without him. But just to show you here, so Dragon's still going on. We have a few hours left with it. And I managed to complete this just slightly over. So that's all I did as far as Dragon. Wasn't trying to go break records here. And then, of course, artifact enhancement started this morning, which I have yet to do any. I'm pretty disappointed. I mean, 4775, not only twice, but now 3 times in a row. If this is going to become the standard, it's kind of putting me off here from doing these fusions. I mean, are they really that good? That's for you to kind of decide. I'm trying to determine how useful he's actually going to be. I'm hoping he's going to be useful on Hydra for my main. I don't know if he's going to be good enough to help me get into Plat Arena on my main. So I don't know how good he'll be really in Arena. It might be a bunch of overhype. It just depends on, again, the state of your account. Anyway, so we'll go switch over to the boring technical stuff on our nice little spreadsheet here, and we'll try and kind of wrap up what happened on the free-to-play, what happened on the main, and see, okay, how much resources do you really need if you've want to do one of these fusions. So we'll hop over there. Okay, real quick review here of the 2 accounts. So the first champ training, we brewed the 1-stars and fed them 1-star food to max them out and then level them up to 2 stars. And then any 2-star, 3-star, 4-star, 5-star food that we use to rank up another champ, we threw just 1 brew into. We actually ended up making 7 5-stars when it was kind of predicted to only make 2.67. So not quite 3 5-stars there. Then the second champ training, we campaign farmed the 1-star up to max, and then we threw 2 brews into 2 stars and did 3 runs. Now this is not the food, this is actually the rank up champs. Same thing with the 3 stars, 3 brews into the rank up champ, and then 17 runs instead of 24. 2 stars, normally 10 runs. So instead of using the brews on our food, we use them as rank up champ. That was predicted to make, or we actually made 3 5-stars and only predicted to make 2.06 5-stars. But remember, not going this high with the points either. So I had to kind of extrapolate back, but you'll see later on where I actually got to when I finally caught the data point there. But extrapolated back, it took us 3,259 energy, 181 brews, and 407 campaign runs to hit the 8,000 mark. Now the predictor said we'd only use 2,632 energy, 315 brews, and 329. So as you can see there, that's predicting we're going to use way more brews, so we wouldn't have to do as many runs. Well, we ended up doing more runs than brews, probably because we were doing a lot more 2-star and 3-star and even 4-star there. But anyway, and then on the other end there, the 5350 point we extracted there, and 2179 was the energy required, or in actuality, with 121 brews and 272 runs. Again, you can see it's showing the predicted value of higher brews, less runs, and less energy. And then for the second champ training, 4,700, I believe, was the mark, and maybe 2,950. Anyway, 1,980 energy, 180 brews, and 238 runs versus a little less than 1,100 energy, but 280 brews and 136 runs. So again, just like up here, right, predicting to use more brews and less runs and energy than what we did, but it's going to depend on what you have available when you start. Unless you got plenty of room and you literally follow it to a T. Hey, I'm only using 1 stars to do this, only using 2 stars that I made to do this, and so on and so forth. And then again, we almost doubled the energy we used, but cut the brews almost in half, and we almost doubled the runs there for the 2950 mark. So let's skip over to kind of the final numbers there. All right, so this is all the final numbers here, and this is my free to play. So 2 times XP was on. We pretty much were farming 12-3 campaign. Every now and then we had to do 12-7 just because that was requirements or whatever. But let's kind of do a quick review of this and see what is all needed. So to hit the 2250 mark on Ice Golem, we only needed 1984 energy. You see here I overshot the campaign of 8,000 there, but to get to this point it took 3643 energy. To get to 2253 on Fire Knight only took 2,000 energy. To get to 5,732 it only took 1,908 energy. To get to 2757 mark on Spider took 2,000 energy. And then Dragon to get to 2264 took 2,080 energy. So for the most part, we're getting about 1.3 points per energy out of the dungeons. Dragon was a little more cruel to me, but that is what it is. So this is just kind of the summation of energy during champ training going up. Same with Ice Golem, Spider. That's why it's all dropping there. Now, I did spend some energy on Iron Twins throughout. I did have to spend some energy on Sand Devil. Even had to do the Red Keep, which was one of the missions. And I did use some gems. I do apologize. I forgot to put Minotaur in there as well. But I did a little over 1,000 worth of energy in Minotaur there. So the energy gain, that's total energy that I've gained from whatever sources. And we'll go back and go over where all we're getting that. Of course, a good portion is from quests, the daily quests, the weekly quests, the advanced, the monthly quests, and then of course the daily playtime energy, but there are some other sources there that I will go over. Now, this is the sum total of all the energy used. So we used like 19,000. Now I went beyond the 8,000 mark. I went to 10,000 during that champ training event. I think I went up to 53 or something in the next level up after that on the champ training tournament. I don't think I quite maxed out. I might have maxed out Spider, but I had to go a little further to finish off the second dungeon diver. I did not go any higher on Ice Golem, and I did not go any higher on Dragon, but again, other energy in these other areas. So that's the summation there. But this is what was needed to hit the minimums. So the 1984 energy just to get to the minimum mark of the Ice Golem. And then at this point, right, that's going to be the Ice Golem energy plus the champ training. And then again, the energy there added on for the fire night, and so it just keeps summing up from the previous one based on what energy here was needed. So leftover energy here. Here was some energy spent along the way with gems, but the energy that I had available, and this is the only point where I was actually not having any energy available. Now this is taking out the gems. So if I did not do the keep, Sand Devil, Iron Twins, Minotaur, and did not use the gems, that's still how much available energy I would have above and beyond what was needed to hit the minimum mark. So we're just shy that one time. And 14 is next to nothing. So again, here's kind of just a breakdown of how much energy we collected without using gems, and then how much of that was off of the daily pot. So this is, like I said, summation from advanced quest, monthly quest, weekly quest, daily quest, and of course the daily playtime energy. And then here's the difference though between what we spent and what we made off of that. That's what this difference is. And then the energy from time lapse. So this is our natural 480 energy that we could potentially get a day. How much of that energy, and that is rolled up into this. So, you know, almost half of this came from that time lapse over the entire course. So it did a reasonable job there. Now, you can kind of see the average of what I got daily, not near the 480, so I wasn't super efficient with that, as much as I tried to be, you know. Of course, sometimes you're going to get exceedingly high pots of energy. You know, campaign farming, you can drop down to where you start earning a little bit of energy at a time a lot quicker, whereas you might have some longer dungeon runs that take a while, and you losing out on some energy there. Sleep time, you know, some real life stuff too that drags those numbers down. Now, overall, from Champ Training 1, I made a total of 31 2-star chickens, converted that to a total of 37 3-star chickens, and then 23 4-star chickens, and actually 7 5-star chickens, and I did 224 total summons. That's mystery shard summons. And then during Champ Training 2, 72 chickens, so way more chickens there. And then the 3 stars, we've got 49, 4 stars was 14, but we only made 3 5-star chickens, but we did a lot less summoning. Now, why is the summoning way less here? Well, remember, we campaign farmed up there, so we only needed 2 1-stars to convert into a 2-star versus 5 from the first Champ Training. A few other little tidbits of information there. So on the free-to-play, the first artifact enhancement took me right around 16.5 million to hit the fragment mark, which was 47.75, and then the second one took me 15.75 million. So about an average of 16 million there. That all being said, one thing to note, well, you know what? I'll talk about the gems here a little bit later on, but when I'm kind of guesstimating for, say, the Champ Training, if you have the highest mark, where the highest we've seen so far is 93.50, followed with a 51.50 for the lower end mark during a Champ Training. You're probably going to need about 5 more pots worth of energy, or roughly 200 more gems. So not crazy amounts there. But as you can see, here's the energy needed. We got all the energy needed. So really, in theory, if you're patient with a little luck, you don't need any gems. You don't even need to save that much energy. Now remember, at the start of this, I had 780 energy start. So if you start with 3,000 energy, you'll be fine. Now what I did, and it kind of cut these numbers probably down quite a bit, was up until the very last day, and then of course the first day was kind of boring, and I did not do too much on that first day either, because I wanted to triple hit the dungeon divers with the ice golem and champ training, so I didn't waste too much energy on the first day where it was not benefiting me during the first dungeon diver as well. So I did a bunch of, leveling up to 2-star or 3-star or 4-star energy or chickens before using my energy up to there, instead of start saving it. So pretty much only saved the day before, and then of course that first day. That was the very start of the first day. I was definitely higher than that by the start of the second day. Now we'll quickly go see kind of what my main did. Big difference there. On my main, we started with just 607 energy. Same thing. Put chicken energy and stuff in there. And so I didn't save as much energy right before the start. But let's kind of go over the numbers here. So Ice Golem took 2,272 energy, so a little less than 1 point per energy. Now, remember, on my Ice Golem, I was farming food, and a few of those runs failed, so that's why it took more energy. But you're going to see it took a lot less energy here. So to hit the 8,000, we hit 8,030 points here, and it only took 1,422 energy, because a lot of that champ training I was getting from Ice Golem as well. It only took 2080 or 2080 energy there to hit 2321, and Fire Knight 1868 to hit the 4,800 mark there in the second champ training. So we overshot a little bit there, which is kind of easy to do on that, because you throw a book in that shoots your points up. You might be below that 4,700 mark, and then you do a 4-star chicken or something, so that can shoot up past real easily. And then exactly 2,000 to get 2,275 on Spider. For this one, since we were a little more efficient with our champ training, I had to do more spider runs to hit that 3350 mark on the second dungeon diver event, and then we just needed 2,000 energy again to break the 2250 mark there on dragons. But you can see we're right around that 1.3-ish average points on the other dungeons there. I did spend quite a bit of energy on Iron Twins and some on Sand Devil. I didn't need to on Sand Devil in this count, I just kind of did, but I wanted to show that I'd spent some of this Minotaur farming. I farmed up some masteries on a few champs, and of course that caused me to use quite a bit more gems. So on my main account, I used a total of 23,042 energy, or that's how much I gained, and I used 22,997 energy was expelled there, getting everything. Now, this was all the energy that we really needed, so this is way less than that 14,000. A big help there was Ice Golem being able to farm food and triple dip in that dungeon diver. Plus, the other benefit on my main account was I had the Forge Pass. So a majority of this champ training, I had 30% extra, and then it bumped to 40, and I think maybe halfway through the second champ training, I got to the 50%. Now, that Forge Pass, those 10% little boosts are based off the natural XP you get. not the 2 times. So instead of like 8,652, 10% of that, no, it's based like off the 40,000. So if you didn't have 2 times on, um, then you get that 10% extra. So it's really, at the end of the day, you're at 5% shooting up to a 1/4% if you're considering as 2 times XP boost. But anyway, so you can see here, we didn't need all this energy here from these things, the Iron Twin Sandemo Minotaur that I ran that we could have saved, and then how much energy from gems that was spent that probably didn't need to. And as you see, at no point did I ever really need to do any of this. So this was just all extra stuff, but I wanted to show, hey, based on the energy I gained and what was needed, no problems. That could be done without expending any gems or saving up much energy. In fact, 607, that's more than double that. So I didn't even need to save up energy for the start of that fusion. But not everybody's in a position where they can farm food with any of these dungeons, and they're not going to have the benefit of the Forge Pass as well. So without using gems, we ended up getting a total of 15,502 energy throughout the course. Now this is over the a 12-day span, not the complete cycle there. That's how much came from pots, So again, our daily, weekly, monthly advanced quests plus our natural occurring energy, which means, we got this, 5941 total energy from different areas of the game. On this one, I was not as efficient as the other one. We were around 340-ish kind of average there of the natural occurring energy. So I'm giving up, 180, 150 energy a day that I'm losing by not being extremely efficient. But you're not going to be 100% efficient. But this is how much of that energy I ended up gaining just letting time work in my favor. Now with this one, in the first champ training, we only need to do 22 chickens, 2-star chickens, 39 3-stars, 19 4-stars, and we again did 7 5-star chickens based off of only 169 summons. On the second one, 60 2-star chickens, 42 3-star, 12 4-star, and we only converted to 2 5-stars, but we only did 113 summons. So we did made a lot of 2-stars, but we didn't need to go as far with the higher chickens to hit those point totals. One, again, part to the extra XP boost from the Forge Pass. Plus on this one, I did use a few epic and legendary books during that second champ training. And that'll get you up there way quicker because it's a champ training tournament where ascension and books also count. Whereas during the champ training event, they do not. But these numbers are lower again, of course, because I was able to farm a reasonable amount of food through Ice Golem as well. Now on this one, the first artifact enhancement took me 20 million, just over 20 million coin. And then the second one was a little over 17 million. So 18.5 million overall. So going into this, I would say safe bet, to make sure you got artifact enhancement covered, 35 to 40 million. I want to say, between buying shards, the cost of upgrading chickens and everything else, about 3.5 million overall was spent on each account. So, 3 million to 5 million saved up on that. So I would say about 40 million. It also is going to depend on what kind of situation you're sitting with your shards. You know, during the champ chase, do you have a few champs waiting in the wings, you know, that you haven't pulled those fragment champs yet, that you can? That will help out. Um, or, you know, how many shards? Do you have a lot of void shards? Do you have sufficient sacred shards? Ancient shards aren't super amount of points, but those help as well. Because if you have to break down and start hitting the marks with mystery shards, then you can start eating up some more coin fairly quick as well. Also, I wouldn't recommend, you know, just willy-nilly leveling up gear or whatnot when you're outside of those artifact enhancement events if you're going for the fusion, unless you have plenty of coin. But let's go back to my free-to-play account there, and then we'll discuss where some of this extra energy came from. Back on the free-to-play, so we saw that we made like 5,000-6,000 in energy coming from the quests here, whether it be advanced, daily, monthly, weekly, and the playtime daily rewards here. But other places we can get energy. We can get energy from these missions, and we can get gems. If you got challenges, sometimes you can get some energy there. You can get energy and gems from any of these tournaments or events. So that's another way. Unfortunately for me, I didn't fall in the range of getting any daily login energy, but I'm about to. But that's another source there. The shop, the little mini pack every second day gives you a pot of energy. That's some energy there. And the clans, when you go to members and you collect this chest, sometimes it has energy. We now have energy here, but throughout the most of it we did not. So you can get some energy that way as well. Then in the arena, which I did cash in twice, you can see you can get energy from the bazaar here. So there's a way of getting some energy. And then also in the Doom Tower, if you're still climbing it and can climb it, you can see there's some energy from the floors here, and there's always energy, at least daily. I'm not sure about the gems, but there's gems as well there. You're going to get more if you can climb the hard side of Doom Tower, but you still get a reasonable amount climbing the normal side of Doom Tower. So, you know, based on what you can do, you might want to switch to normal instead of hard, but that's up to you. The sacrifice there is you get the better rewards out of hard to give you the potentially better gear. Anyway, so there are some areas there to get some energy. Another thing of note is that we actually started with 3,482 back on day one, and we are just a little bit over 200 more gems now, and we spent about 1,300 gems extra, you know, doing things like Minotaur, Sand Devil, Iron Twins, and going a little further into champ training or some of these dungeon tournaments than necessary to get, you know, do the minimum to get the frags. So we actually made about 1,500 total more gems through the 12 days than we, you know, than we needed to. So that's going to help with your energy. We started with 780, and other than Fire Night, which if I would have waited another like 30 to 45 minutes, I could have at least broke even there. We always had enough energy to at least get to the minimums. Doesn't hurt to have some saved up. You know, here, save up some pots here. I had 3 to 5, I think, when I started. Not a whole lot. But if you can save those up and some gems up for some emergency, then you should be fine, because you never know when they're going to pop that 9350 champ training on you. Of course, you know, if it's a tournament, then you can come in here, you can upgrade skills, and those are easy points there. And then you can also ascend. Those are some more easy points. That'll help get you through the champ training tournament a lot quicker. So if you save, save booking some of your legendaries and epics until then, great. Especially if it's during a CVC and a champ training tournaments going on, that's a perfect time for that. But during a champ training event, those don't count. So don't waste them during a champ training event. More than enough energy, as you can see here. We're at 110 frags. I'm saving Pythion because I do have a Duchess on this account. Unfortunately, I do not on my main. So I went ahead and pulled him. But we're up to 110, and we have not done any of the artifact enhancement on the third round of this. Not a big fan of this, and this might be the final straw that broke the camel's back here as far as me doing any more frag fusions or traditional fusions going forward, unless they are super game breaking. I'm not even sure how game breaking this person is. I don't know if Pythion is really going to help in arena, and I'm hoping, at least on my main, that he's going to be a dramatic improvement in Hydra, and probably the same on this account. But I don't have the damage dealer, so I'm not, I can sit in gold 5. I'm never going to compete for plat and regular arena, and I'm not sure that I can even get the gold 1 until I finally start pulling some true DPS champions, because right now Magnar is number 1 and Yakarl is number 2. Those are my DPS champions for 3v3 arena. Then you got Gaius or Ninja, so it falls off quick. If it wasn't just for a lot of support champions, I wouldn't get very far in arena, but I got some pretty good ones, so I am fortunate there. Again, with the silver, 16.5 for the first artifact enhancement, 15.75 million on the second one, so about an average of 6.25, or 16.5 and 15.75, so about an average of 16.25 million coin per artifact enhancement. You also need roughly 3.5 million for all the shards, for the brews, for pulling the shards and leveling up the food. So, I started off with around 25 million, so it's good to go there between the champ training and then selling off quite a bit of the gear. If you're keeping a lot of it, you're going to need more coin. But I was selling off quite a bit of the gear, so I was able to, get back up after the first artifact enhancement to be ready to go for the second one. But as you can see, I'm not ready to go for the third one if it goes much further than that. Of course, I did waste, not waste, but use more than I should have during the event to better gear up some champions for faction wars, because I am pushing for Lydia as well. And I knew that I didn't need to do this third artifact enhancement. But if you did, then you're going to have to be a little patient and save up that. Also, I did not sell much of anything from spiders, so I need to go through and cleanse all those accessories, and that would probably push me up, hopefully, to 15, if not up to 20 million there, so that I could do the third one if necessary. So there you go. If you can start with a few energy pots and 1,000 energy, then that should be more than sufficient, as long as you bide your time, be patient. The hardest thing is being patient, and maximize any overlap between dungeons and dungeon diver events, or champ training in dungeon diver, or if you can farm up food while doing a dungeon, even better. But overlap all that as much as possible, and then you'll be all right. Shards I can't help you with. Worst comes to worst, and I've had to do it a few times. I got close to 5,000 mystery shards. I have pulled 3,000 mystery shards to finish off a summer rush or a champ chase. It's painful. It's not fun. And, pulling shards, feeding food, pulling shards, feeding food for 2 or 3 hours. Yeah, not recommended. But that's another way to get around some of the shards. So save them up, buy them in the market. If you do a lot of training and campaign, you'll build up those mystery shards pretty quick, especially if you're leveling up to higher levels. But so my recommendation, as long as you at least have say 1,000 gems and 1,000 energy to start, you should be fine getting through any fusion event um, now, or fragment event. If it's a true fusion where you got to level up the rares and all that, that takes a little more resources there. So, you might want to have some more saved up, but it can be done. It's free to play, and you don't need to go in with a whole lot of stuff. You can save yourself some energy if you've got the Sand Devil potions all saved up. So when that quest pops up, you just click ascend item there. You're done because you've got the resources ahead of time. Same with the potions here for ascension. If you need to do that, make sure you got enough potions, and you'll be good to go. There you have it. Nutshell. 12 days of work. Pythion is mine on both accounts, and I really didn't, well, I spent the extra, but I went further to get some of the rewards, but I did not need to at least get this champion. Hopefully that's helpful. Have a nice day.